Over the last 3 to 4 months, I've had a lot of time to really sit down and evaluate the state of the black community and the state of the black community collective and where it's going from here. And I spent a little time in the Dominican Republic, about 2 months there, and just really had a chance to clear my mind and get myself where I needed to be. But I came to the consensus that there's only one group of black Americans that actually care about the collective of the black community. And that group has been ostracized in a large part and kind of forcefully segregated from the collective of black people. But I've come to the conclusion that they're the only group that really care enough about the black community collective to the point where they're willing to put in tangible investments into the community for improving it. And that group of guys, group of black Americans, is the guys that can be considered the non-select guys. So when I went to the Dominican Republic, there is a group of black men there, and I gotta tell you, I have a whole different respect for those brothers there, because they not only did they stick together, they understood that they had to stick together. They understood that they were all they had while they were living there. They had to look out for each other. And because that dynamic was there, these brothers took it to the next level. So if a brother was leaving the country for going back to the United States for a little while, he let everybody know. He was like, "Y'all, look, I'm checking out. Going back to the States, whatever." They developed this camaraderie between each other where it was so tight niche that everybody almost knew everybody else's personal business. So I kind of saw how that worked there, but the common denominator there, the limiting factor that made that camaraderie come together like that, was that it was in another country. And it was in another country where they all had to depend on each other. That dynamic was there as well. It almost forced them to have to look out for each other, because you never know when something might pop off where you need help. Well, unfortunately, in America, we don't have that dynamic. And I've come to the consensus that black Americans just aren't going to be able to compete. And there will be cases here and there of competitive black people, black men, black women, but on a collective level, they won't be able to do it. And it's because the black community has selected its way into failure. And I use the word selected because the select men are chosen by the majority of the black women in the black community, regardless of what intention they have for the collective of black people. So the only people that really care enough about the black community to put in some tangible investment for improvement is going to be the non-select guy who is educated, has his stuff together, and he can't go into the black community with the mindset of I'm going to help them in like a Good Samaritan context. He has to go in with the mindset of I'm going to help the community by indirectly helping them when I go in and buy the community, buy the land, invest in the property there, take over the economic landscape. It's going to be him or her. Usually it's the non-select guy who wants to come in and see the actual profiteering he can come in and make off of the land in the community. And by him investing in the land in the community, it will indirectly force the rest of the black community to line up. That's the way it's got to be done. He can't go in it with the sense of I'm going to help the black community, or else they're going to see it as weak. He has to go in it with the backing of the potential use of lawful removal, lawful force behind him. That's the only way he needs to go in there in that community to make change. Your black men in your community, if you're not considered a select guy, they will attack you in ways to let you know you're no better than them. Now, not to say that you are better than them, but their whole goal is to make sure you know that. So when you go in, you have to go in with the leverage on your side. You have to have some type of upper hand that can be forcefully used on them if needed be. So the Good Samaritan Act in the black community is worth shit. You have to go in with ownership. You have to go in with something that can be applied to let them know you have the upper hand. And by indirectly, by taking the community over this way, by getting that upper hand, either by buying the community, investing in it, and owning the land, you indirectly improve the community. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, I've just come to this consensus. That's the way it's going to have to be. Is this? If you're waiting on black people to wake up and all work together in America, you're dreaming. It's not going to happen. The psychological damage is there to where you can't get over this hurdle of he's got to let you know you're no better than him. And because of that, because that dynamic is there, we're not going to be able to compete as a collective. We're out of the loop. But if the guys that will be considered non-select, the guys that are educated, the guys that have resources would invest in the community in a manner to where potentially force could be used to remove or put the mental upper hand over this population, you may have a chance to indirectly improve the community in that manner. So I just want to leave that with you. I'm going to show you a video next week of the business center we're working on. Again, we have the ATM machine we're about to put in, we're about to get it going, and I'll show it to you very soon. So anyways, peace.